Jess here from Nigezza.co.uk, and I'm here today with a notepad and pen sort of gift. I've done it, I've put a little envelope in there with a pocket. I've put my business cards in there. You could put stamps, you could do all sorts. I've included a little diary there, and then this is just a little handy jotter from Wilko. They're 20p each, so they're not very much, and the actual notebook itself measures, it's just a 1/16 shy of 4 inches long, and then it's 3 1/4 wide, which, oh, I've got my centimetres here, which is about 10 centimetres there by 8 1/4. That's what it looks like. Okay, so I'm making this because during the amazing joining offer I got picked up quite a few team members, so I thought I'd make them all one of these so they can be jotting things down about the sort of things that you have to set up when you first, I know at least one of them wants to pursue a business, and so I thought this might be a handy way of jotting things down, or if nothing else, you know, if you get a bit of a card idea, you can sketch it out, have a few business cards to hand out. Little diary there is quite useful, and it's quite sturdy for putting in your handbag. And then these little cute little pens fit in really nicely. These pens come in a pack of 5, and I got these in Trago Mills. So anybody that's in the southwest of the UK, there are quite a few Tragos down in Devon and Cornwall. So I'm sure other retailers would sell them as well. So you get, is it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 for 99p. Cheap as chips, and they do match some of our colours. Okay, so I did this one with some retired paper, and I'm going to make this one with the very beautiful Share What You Love DSP, which is a little bit thicker than normal, which will give it a little bit more sort of sturdiness. And I'm matting it on to Tranquil Tide, because I'm matching it up with this pen here, okay, which I thought was sort of Tranquil Tidy, and the nice flower goes with the flower in it. Okay, so let's get started. So the first thing we need, I'm using the extra thick Whisper White because I do want it to be a bit sturdier. So this piece measures 4 inches by 7 5/8. Okay, and then we need the scoreboard, and we are going to make just 3 score lines, and we're going to score at 3 1/4, at 3 5/8, and at 4. So that is our 3 score lines. Then we need to fold and burnish those score lines. Get everything ready, and then it's like, well, where is it? There we go. 1, 2, 3. Almost I got my bone folder. I am going to go around these cut edges so that I get rid of them. Okay, so then what we want to do is, if you fold it over on the middle score line, you'll see they don't quite meet, so that means this bit's the front and the longer bit is the back. Okay, so I kind of took the pen, imagined that it would be about there, and did a couple of slits there for where the pen's going to be. Okay, no magic measuring, just eyeballing it really, and you're cutting up to that score line, and it will be the same on the other side. And then you do a valley and a mountain, so you want those to stick down and that one to stick out. And then that will allow your pen to go down there, and it's perfect. Okay, so what I find easiest when you're thinking about where to glue is you're going to stick glue, because you want it to stick down there, so the glue wants to go along there and along there, but not in the middle. So I've been leaving the pen in, because then you've got no chance of putting it where you don't want it. So I'm just using a bit of Tombow on here, because it's a nice strong glue. And then just close it down, and I am going to take the pen out now and give it a good burnish so it sticks. And that's it, simply done. Okay, bend back on itself that way to make sure it is well and truly in place, ready to fit the notebook. And you've got a bit of an extra gap there. That's because you've got to take in consideration the deepness of the pen, and also I wanted to put a pocket there and a calendar. So that's what I've done there. I'm going to stick the layers on. So we've got slightly bigger for the back, slightly smaller for the front. I'm going to go around the edges of these just to make sure. With the DSP, I cut on the right side and then I cut on the wrong side, so you do get a little edge, but your bone folder irons it out. I did actually, because I use the Stampin' Up trimmer so that you can do some saving of paper, and then I went and cut it at the wrong measurement, so I didn't save paper at all. But such nice paper, I really don't want it wasted in the least. So love that colour. So we'll put a bit of this on the front there, so we've got a bit of wigglage. There we go. Beautiful. These would be great for craft fairs, teacher thank yous. I know we're probably done all that. I think most schools have broke up now in the UK, but pull the idea out for another time. There we go. And then we need the little sentiment, and I've used the Just a Note from Better Together. That's what I'm using, and I'm just going to stamp that in Tranquil Tide just to marry everything up. I've got a bit of a mark on that one, so we'll turn it around to this side. And we go. Overstamp that. Happened in practice, that as well. I'm going to put it at the top then. That's perfect. There we go. Right, and I just want to trim that down to just 1 inch. I'm bringing in my tiny little trimmer here. So going to, this is in centimetres, which is why I don't use it very often. So I'm going to go slightly over that way. So then come back that way at 2.5. That's about right. And then I'm going to bring in my banner punch and just banner the end. Some of you may recognise that trimmer. It's an old Creative Memories one, which I used to do many, many years ago. And I still got quite a few Creative Memory things. Okay, so that's chopped off there, and I want to cut it to 1 3/4, which is, working in centimetres. Where's my ruler? Not 1 3/4. 2 3/4 is 1 2 3 4 5 6, about 7 centimetres. There we go. That's to go across the front. I must have some pink on me because I keep getting pink on it. I've clearly got some. I'm going to have to do this again. Okay, right, so I re-stamped that on there, and I just cut a piece of Tranquil Tide, which is just 1/4 inch longer and wider. So this is 1 1/8 by 3, about that. And I'm just going to glue that to this bit with a bit of wigglage. And then I'm going to take my snips to flag the end to match. So up the middle. To there. Although I don't like how that's turned out. I did it so well before. It'll do. And then that's to be stuck on there, so you won't actually notice. So just going to glue that on there. I find it a bit off-putting, isn't it, when something don't go quite right. I don't know where all that pink stuff was coming from because I haven't used pink ink. So right, so I'm just gonna line that up on my grid mat. Gonna go about there. And it's because that's extra thick DSP, it's actually nice and strong. So it'll give it a nice sturdiness, because if this is, as I anticipate, going to be chucked in your handbag, you want it to be nice and sturdy, because you get all sorts of things bashing around in your handbag. Phones, wallets, keys, all sorts. And then stick this one on the back. And then we need the notepad, and I just usually find the first sheet kind of sticks to the cover a bit. And what I'm going to do is just snip it along so that the top black piece stays intact. Like so. And then I'm just going to cover the back with lots of glue to stick it in place. You could make this so that it's reusable, and I may well do one that is like that, but for the moment I just went for quickness and ease, and sticking that down. Like so. And then for the inside, I'm going to use, just put that to one side for now, I'm going to use my envelope punch board, and I'm making a 3 by 3.5 inch envelope, and I'm using this paper here because this pattern has a directional pattern. It wouldn't come out in the envelope so well, so this one has the same colour scheme in it, so I'm using this. So I'm just following what it says here. So this is cut to 5 3/4 by 5 3/4, and we're going to score at 2 5/8. So punch and score. You have seen me use one of these before, I'm sure, and probably one of my most used tools, apart from my trimmer and scoreboard. But in terms of punches and things, this is the one that I use the most. You can round the corners, but you actually won't see them, so there is no point. Okay, so put that away. So we'll just fold and burnish these school lines. This really is not paper. This really is like cardstock. Okay, and what we're going to do is we're going to glue that flap down. So that's going to get glued down, so you've got a nice edge there at the top of your pocket. Put some glue when it decides to come out. Oh, came out too much then. I'm going to stick that I'm going to come down here a little tad, stick that on there. And then we're going to stick that from there just thought having a little pocket would be handy. You could keep a receipt in there. As I say, you can keep your business cards, put stamps in. Whatever you want. Just thought having a little pocket there would be fairly handy. Fairly handy thing to have. So I'm gonna stick that down there a sec. Whilst I give it a good squeeze, just to make sure that no glue goes on the other side if I've overglued it. There we go. And then that fits beautifully on the inside of that pocket. You'd think it was made to measure? Well, it is. Okay, seems a shame to cover up so much of this beautiful paper, but you can at least see it fully on the other side. So that's just going to go in there nicely. Make sure we have a good adhesion. And then I've got this calendar. I know we're in August now, but it can always be, because it's only light, replaced very quickly if they're still using this in January. It'll be quite easy, and these little things are quite inexpensive to buy. And as I say, on this one, I used it for my business cards. And then, where's my pen gone? To go in there. And there we have it. Take off that little bit of a mark I can see. There we go. So there we have it. A nice little covered notebook with an extra pocket and a calendar, which has seemed to have gone a bit squiff. And there. Hope you like it. All the details will be on my blog, nigezza.co.uk. And if you like it, please give me the thumbs up. Please subscribe if you haven't already. If you would like to purchase anything, there'll be a link to my shop. There's a link to the blog downstairs. And yeah, I hope you have a go. Okay, see you again soon.